What did he say? We're, I'm just going to break it down. This is as basic as it gets. That's Starmer and Trump, are going to try, there's an operative term, to get back as much as we can. You know what he just said, Danny? They're not getting any land back. End of story. It's done. It's finished. The Russians have put forward a steadfast, unchangeable, unmovable position that every piece of territory, every inch, or I guess the Russians use centimeters of territory that is Russian constitutionally will be Russian in perpetuity. And they're not going to budge on that, and Trump's not going to budge either. He has Starmer there. Look, Macron was there the day before. Trump said things as well. None of that's going to happen. This is a negotiation that's being run by other people. Right now, Donald Trump is playing, head of state, and he's holding the hands of two European allies who have just folded like a house of cards. Again, remember, a week ago, Macron and Starmer were going to send 30,000 troops in, come hell or high water. The hell with America. We're going forward. Trump humiliated the guy. You think you can beat him yourself? He asked Starmer, and everybody laughed because everybody knows that the British Army, some 75,000 strong, only 26,000 of whom can actually deploy to combat position, can do nothing, zero, squat. And that's what Starmer got, nothing, zero, squat. The person that matters is Steve Wickoff, and he's come out and he has said that the document that's guiding the Trump position isn't the Kellogg document. It's the April 2022 peace treaty that almost was. He said that was almost a done deal, and that's what they're relying on. So if people want to know what's going on, it's that document updated with what Vladimir Putin said is present day reality. Is Trump going to make an opening gambit saying, hey, let's get some terrible. Let me ask you this too, Daddy. Is there a ceasefire right now?
No, there is no ceasefire. There's
not going to be a ceasefire either.
Going on.
There won't be a ceasefire until this is done. And Ukraine has, two options. Lose another million people as they futilely try to hold on to territory that legally is Russian, or accept the fact that they've lost and concede that. That's it. There's nothing else going on here. Trump didn't say anything. I just parsed it out for you. He didn't say anything. And people are blowing that up, saying he's surrendering, he's caved in, the British this, he's betraying. He hasn't done anything. The Russians and the Americans have agreed that the first thing they're going to do is normalize diplomatic relations. The second thing they're going to do is develop economic relations. And the third and final thing they do once they have this foundation of trust is bring it into this conflict. And I think this is, basically Trump telling the Russians, hey, get to work, finish this thing, do what you need to do to make the negotiation that much easier. Because frankly speaking, it's going to be a tough negotiation for Trump to come in, for his people to come to a table and it's time to negotiate. And the Ukrainians are still holding on to Zaporizhia city and the right bank of Kherson. Because at that point in time, the Ukrainians are going, well, we didn't agree with the referendum. The Russian Constitution doesn't trump the Ukrainian Constitution. We still occupy this land. Why are we giving it up? And that's a tough that's a tough hoe to row. But I think what we're looking at right now though is desperation on the part of the Ukrainians. You see Zelensky now, Starmer, Macron coming over here trying to get Trump to move forward on this peace plan. Trump's not going anywhere on this peace plan. Not going anywhere on it. They're not even talking about it right now because he's going to let again, Putin said it's the 2022 Istanbul communique updated to present reality. And I think what Trump is saying is let's get the present reality sort of updated when we sit down. But that's it. I don't know why people are. I've just looked at the panic and I'll just bring up another thing. Vietnam. Paris peace talks began in 1968. They ended in January of 1973. 5 years. Donald Trump has done more in 1 month than anybody has ever done in any peace negotiations in the history of modern warfare. More in 1 month. He has resolved the most difficult issue out there, NATO. So what the hell are people talking about here? Where's the panic? Where's the uncertainty? Where's the betrayal? Where's this? Calm down, everybody. Donald Trump said he wants peace, and he's going to get peace. And it's going to be a real peace, not a fake peace, not a peace that's cobbled together rapidly to appease all the panickers on X, but a peace that lasts forever. In order to do that, you need things like security guarantees, not the kind that Starmer and Macron are talking about, but the innovative kind that Donald Trump's talking about. Economic-based security guarantees that ties the United States to Ukraine and to Russia simultaneously in a way that's economically beneficial for all parties involved. That's how you stop a war, not by putting European peacekeepers on the ground. So I think Donald Trump is just moving forward brilliantly on a pace that's realistic, on a very aggressive pace, and one that's going to see a lasting peace brought out. And there's no evidence out there that suggests that I'm wrong in my analysis. Everything actually supports what I'm saying.
Scott Ritter's analysis of Trump's recent comments on Ukraine reveals a striking shift in the president's stance, one that suggests an acceptance of the war's outcome, albeit on Russia's terms. Trump's remarks about NATO and Ukrainian territorial losses indicate that his administration, if elected, would likely abandon any push for Ukraine's NATO membership and implicitly accept Russia's annexation of Ukrainian territories. This aligns with Moscow's long-standing demands, as Ritter points out, emphasizing that Russia has no intention of returning any land it now considers constitutionally Russian. Ritter also underscores the broader geopolitical implications, particularly in how Trump handled European leaders like UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer and French President Emmanuel Macron. He argues that Trump humiliated them, exposing the weakness of European military commitments to Ukraine. This, in turn, suggests that any Western-led military intervention in Ukraine is increasingly unlikely, leaving Kyiv with diminishing options. A key takeaway from Ritter's analysis is his assertion that Trump is not engaging in traditional diplomacy, but rather setting the stage for an economic-driven peace process. According to Ritter, Trump's approach hinges on normalizing U.S.-Russia diplomatic and economic relations first before broaching a final settlement on Ukraine. This strategy, he suggests, is modeled after the 2022 Istanbul peace talks, which nearly resulted in an agreement before Western intervention halted negotiations. Ultimately, Ritter paints a picture of an inevitable Russian victory, with Ukraine facing the grim choice of prolonged suffering or conceding defeat. He dismisses the idea that Trump is betraying Ukraine, instead arguing that Trump is orchestrating a durable, economically anchored peace that sidesteps European security commitments in favor of direct U.S.-Russia engagement. Whether this vision materializes remains to be seen. Scott Ritter's breakdown of Trump's stance on Ukraine reveals a stark reality, one where Western leaders struggle to maintain their position while Russia solidifies its territorial claims. If Ritter's analysis holds true, Trump's approach signals a fundamental shift in how the U.S. engages with this conflict, prioritizing economic ties and diplomatic normalization over military aid and NATO expansion. But the big question remains, will this strategy lead to a lasting peace, or will it simply validate Russia's aggression? What do you think? Is Trump's approach a pragmatic path to ending the war, or does it risk undermining Ukraine's sovereignty? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep analysis on global affairs.